Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing with you the smallest room we have ever booked on a train.
Alright guys, so if you've watched our channel for any amount of time, you probably know a couple of things about us, and especially about me, is that you know which bunk I usually sleep on, the top or the bottom? The bottom. Why? Because I do struggle with claustrophobia. And I know a lot of people ask us always like, why do you always book a roomette? Isn't that claustrophobic? And it really just doesn't feel that small. I mean, do you think it's that small, a roomette?
Well, if you're on the bottom, it's not that small. But if you're on the top and you're claustrophobic, it would be bad. So yes. we booked that room because I'm not claustrophobic, but she is. And we generally don't have a problem with it. But on this particular room that we booked, the roles were reversed and there was a lot of claustrophobia setting in on the bottom level. So it's the first time ever that we've considered switching and having her be on the top and me be on the bottom. And this was really the smallest room we've ever booked on a train. We were pretty shocked at how small this room was and how much smaller it even got during the trip.
Yeah, it was hard to believe that a lot of you, when we've talked to some of you even on the train on Amtrak, and you're like, oh, these roomettes are really small, it's smaller than I thought. And everybody knows that Rob travels with his handy dandy tape measure, and he's always measuring stuff, and he tells you, you know, what the measurements are for the room. But I think maybe you should get that tape measure out at home and measure it, because that will give you a little bit better idea. But in this instance, we were riding this train and we didn't really have a ton of information on it. We always book a room for 2 people, so a double almost everywhere that we go. And on this particular train, we booked the double room, so we figured, you know, how bad can that be? It's just 2 beds, bunks, just like we always have on Amtrak, a double bed. No, you know, bunk beds, no big deal, right?
Right, exactly. But the trouble set in right from the beginning because the hallway was really quite small. And the trains are not made for people to bring luggage with them, with their suitcases with them. And so we had trouble initially getting our suitcase down the hallway. And then it is definitely a split floor plan. So you've got rooms that go upstairs and rooms that go downstairs. No rooms on the main level. So we did have to drag our suitcases up the stairs. We were on the upper level. And then once we got in there, there was really no place to put our suitcases into an already really small room. So we made do. It was kind of like playing Tetris for a little while, and we made some adjustments, but this was really a really small room.
It was. We found it so challenging. So the first thing was we walked up and the door is like one of those doors like you have to the bathrooms on like an airplane where you push it in the middle and then it opens and you slide it. So we barely made it into the room with our 2 bags and our backpacks on. Rob had to take his backpack off just to get in. As a matter of fact, when we were trying to get to the room, we walked past it, and instead of being able to turn around, which you cannot do in the hallway, he actually had to walk backwards to get to the staircase to walk up to the room. And once we got in there, we were like, we're in a closet. Like, how are we going to make this work? So let me show you real quick. I'll give you a video tour of this room so you can kind of get a feel for the space and the amount of room or lack of that we had in that room.
Okay, we think we found our room, which is 21, 111, and 115. So it's a double door right there. We're going to go up. There's Allie. Everyone's trying to get settled here, and we're just trying to get our bags situated. It's a little tight.
It's tight.
Mostly because our bags don't fit under the bottom bed. So
it would be nice if there's like a I don't know if that's another bed down there.
I was initially
we'll
confused when we got on because you walk down and then it's like a split level floor plan.
Yeah.
Right. So like some of the rooms are up and some are down, and
but none are on the level that we're on.
No, none are on the level you're on. So I was like, where is the room? And then our bed numbers are 111 and 115.
So we weren't even sure we were in the same room.
Yeah, we hoped we were. But we are.
Kind of
so we're going to try to turn this around and get you a better view of this room in just a second here.
All right. Okay, so I think we got everything settled now. We found a place for what we have in here. It's not really made to travel with the size bags that we have right now. Remember, we travel full-time, so we have all our stuff with us all the time. Most people traveling on Nightjet are going to be, you know, traveling with a little bit lighter, because it's just, you know, day trips, week-long trips, that kind of stuff. Not quite as long as we're doing. So we found a place for everything. We'll kind of show you what that looks like, but it feels better now that we're in here. So we do have some goodie bags. I love me a goodie bag. So let's dig right in here. First of all, I love slippers. Look at those babies. Yay, slippers. Okay, what else we got in here? An eye mask. Ooh. Okay, that's got some cool stuff on there. I think I'm gonna keep that as a souvenir. We got a washcloth. That feels new and soft. That might be a keeper. We've got a bottle of water, still water. That's good. And let's see, there's more stuff in here. Wow. Let's see, a little trail mix and a little fruit mix. That's nice. Oh, some earplugs. Although I don't think that's going to be a problem. And a pen. Wow, that's a nice goodie bag. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty good little gift. We got 2 of those, and then we also got, well, that was in that bag, but we also got extra waters here. Ignore this water, we brought it ourselves. We drink a lot of water. And then they also gave us each a bottle of wine. What? Yeah, the good news is Rob doesn't drink wine, so 2 for me. All right, so in here we've got a sink. You just open that baby up, ta-da! And we've got our sink right here. Get that up here, and we can wash our hands. Okay. I'm not really sure how we get it activated. Oh, right back there. Let's see here. Woo. Yeah. So we'll figure that out in a minute. But this is the sink. And then we've got a little, so that's nice because when you're not using the sink, you can just use that to set stuff on if you want to. A little extra space, which you're gonna need in here. And then we've got a nice little mirror here with the light, which is a good thing as well. We've got a shade here, which is good. Can't see anything because of course it is about 8:50. Yep, 8:53 right now, so there's that. And then right here, there's actually a little table, which we could use for breakfast in the morning. So that's what we've got down here. And then here's the door. You already, there's two locks on this. We've got one here and one here. And then here's where you pull open. Just pull it, and the door comes open for you. So that's that. And you actually have a little peephole here, which is great. You could look right out there. Somebody's knocking. You could see who it is. I like that. And then 2 hooks here to hang stuff. Then over here you've got you can turn your night light on here. So like that, all the way off, or like that, okay? And then here's your temperature control. Again, these don't really change the temperature too much, but you can make it a little bit cooler, or you can make it a little bit warmer. Up here, we don't touch this stuff because this has to do with the movement of the beds. So we got in here and the beds were already set up. So we're not going to show you the way that it looks like when everything is put away because it all runs on keys and stuff like that, so we can't move that. And then you also have a button here to call for service, although I feel like that's in a dangerous position. Like if you were standing here, you may just hit it and call the attendant by mistake. And then there's 2 closets here, kind of like a locker style. See that? We got one here, and then we have a drawer. And then we have another drawer. Ooh, no, that's not a drawer, that's just the door. Right there. Okay? So we have some place where we can put some stuff. There's a little bit of storage underneath, but it's kind of inhibited with some of the parts for the way the bed sits up as a couch. So the top part of the couch folds underneath, and then that gives you less space underneath to store. That's how come we can't stick our big bags under there. But I'm gonna show you here the bed situation and what that looks like and how we're planning on sleeping in here tonight. Okay, testing out the bed. This is a good little nook down here. The mattress is a little firm and the pillow is a little soft, but that's always a personal choice. But this feels pretty comfortable. This will be good for the night. There's not a ton of space though between here and the upper bunk. You can see I can barely just do my elbow like that, but I'll be able to flip back and forth pretty easily down here. But that's pretty comfortable. There's a little light down here, which I can turn on and off, so you have your own little light down here. And that's pretty much it for down here. I'm gonna send it up to Rob and he's gonna show you what it's like up there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like before I actually get up there, because once I'm up there it's gonna be hard. So it's kind of like the bottom bunk, but it does have a, actually this is a first for us. There's more headroom on the top than on the bottom, so I don't know, we may be switching in the middle of the night. She may be up here and I may be down there in the morning. We'll have to see what happens, but this is kind of like a arced shape, and so in the middle there's quite a bit of room right here. On the ends, you know, not much room there and not much room down there, but it's actually pretty good headroom for the top bunk. And then the same thing up here, you have just a little light, and you've got another cool feature that I really like about this top bunk is it's got this little snap right here, and it's almost like a sunroof. Yeah, I can see out. You probably can't see anything right now, but I can see some lights. We're leaving Zurich, so that'll be cool in the morning. When we get into Vienna, I might be able to see something pretty neat. So that just hopefully, yeah, that snaps back in like that. And that's about all there is to this bunk, but I did lay on it already and I measured it, and it's about 6'3", 6'4". I'm like 5'9", so no problem at all for me. And like I said, plenty of headroom. And another cool thing about this is some of these sleeper cars, you just feel like you're not really strapped in up here. Well, this one you really do, because there's a wall, first of all, and then there's this like harness thing, and it's like an actual seatbelt type job. So yeah, that is just hooks in. That's the only time I've ever seen like that. So I'm pretty impressed with this upper bunk. I like it. I'm not sure I'll get to stay up here all night. Or maybe trading. We'll find out soon enough though.
So right when I laid down in that bottom bunk, I knew there was going to be a problem. When I put my elbow up, and that's as far as I could extend was just half my arm, I knew that was going to be hard, because you couldn't even sit up in the bed. So you had to be like hunched, way hunched over. And I'm not even that tall, but you had to be really hunched over in that lower bunk. So I started to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's honestly what makes people freak out on the Amtrak roomette too, is on the upper level, you cannot sit up. And I think if you're claustrophobic and you find you're in a situation where you can't fully sit up, that's when people start to have that fear come in. So I knew right when I saw you on that lower bed that it was going to be a problem, because there was no way you could sit up in there. It was kind of tight, like on Amtrak room. So I was wondering if I was going to end up being on the lower for that night. The other thing that we're trying to figure out is how to actually get up there. And we think, well, we could just stand on our suitcase there, but there's this little pull-out thing next to the bottom bed, and I think that's what you're supposed to stand on. So I'm gonna give that a go. See how that does. Oh, well, it didn't break, and I made it up, so I guess that's good. That's a plus, right? So we wanted to tell you how much we paid for this room, and we paid 209 euros, which euros and dollars aren't that much different, so dollars is just a little bit more than euros, but paid 209 euros, and we're going from Zurich to Vienna, which is going to be about a 12-hour ride. So dollar for hour, that's actually really good compared to some of the other European ones that we've done. So, you know, $200 and something. We're gonna be 12 hours overnight. We will get breakfast in the morning, so we're excited about that. And just to be going into a whole new country overnight on a sleeper is really... Is this the first time we've changed countries on a sleeper?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, we've never done that before. Change countries while you're asleep in a sleeper. This is gonna be awesome.
All right, so I did end up choosing to sleep on that bottom bunk. I think just because I could quickly swing my legs over and stand up if I needed to at any point if I started to feel too enclosed. I think that's why I finally decided to just sleep on the bottom one, just because I could pop out of the bed really quickly. Even though I was squished in there pretty good with our suitcases too. It was a tight squeeze altogether. But I made it through the night and then got up the next morning and thought, we'll have a little bit more space when they put the beds up and they bring us breakfast. So our attendant came and it was time to put the beds up so she can bring our breakfast, and the room got smaller.
Yeah, the beds took up a lot of room when they're folded up, so it literally felt like pretty much a closet after the beds were put away, and we were kind of wishing the beds were back out because there was more room. We could have done that, but the problem with the beds being out was that because the lower level is so short, you can't sit down there, so there's nowhere to sit if the beds are out. And I noticed that when I was giving the tour of the upper level, that just standing there, I could fully see everything on the upper bunk. And that's never the case on most trains. That means that it's too low, and I think it's because the curvature of the train, it had to be there. But in a roomette on Amtrak, if the beds are out, you can still sit basically on the lower level, and you can even just fold it up yourself, which means you can really sit down there. So I think that was also what made it so claustrophobic during the night, is that there was nowhere to sit at all. You could not sit up basically anywhere, and then when they were pushed up in the morning, it just got really, really tight.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the bonuses in an Amtrak roomette, is that you can always move that bed up. Like even during the day, you can make that bed up on the bottom and you can both sit down there, put your legs up and enjoy and just, you know, have a relaxing time. But on these types of trains, and this happened to be, we were going from Zurich, Switzerland to Vienna. And so to Vienna, Austria. So, you know, it was just an overnight ride and we didn't have too much time during the daytime sitting up there. But if you had to spend any more time on there during the daytime, it'd be really tough because that seat is so small. It's really just for like one person. It's not really for two people to be sitting down there.
Yeah, and there's really nowhere else to go. There's no dining car, observation car, or anything like that.
No, and probably the surprising part was that the bathrooms was probably the biggest part, the biggest room in the train. It felt like I was really surprised when we got down to the bathroom, and I thought the bathroom must be even smaller than, you know, we're used to, and it was actually not that bad at all. It was a little bit bigger than an Amtrak regular bathroom on Amtrak on the sleeper trains, don't you think?
I do, yeah. It was a pretty good bathroom, and that was nice to see because a lot of the other things were really quite tight and small. This is what's called the double room. So there's a single, a double, and a triple, referring to the number of beds you have. This is the double, and it's not the superior or the deluxe double. So that means there's no bathroom or shower in here. So there is one down the hall. I'm about to go check that out and see what that looks like. We're going to be on another Nightjet soon where we're in the other one. We're in the deluxe version, so we'll be able to compare them. This will be interesting to see. But yeah. I know there's two bathrooms right around the corner from us, so I'm going to go check that out now. This is the bathroom on the Nightjet. There's two of them down at the end of this hall, and there is a sink area with a paper towel dispenser, a little soap dispenser on the side, and I think that's more soap right there. It does come with toilet paper and another one stuck up in the wall, and toilet right there. They do give you those slippers you can wear down here too. So this is pretty standard bathroom. Looks like it'll be good for us. I didn't see a shower yet, but I'm gonna go look for one of those. Not sure if there is one.
So as you can see, the bathroom was surprisingly a good size, so we could move around in there pretty easily. So it was a good ride overall. It just was really challenging because the room was so small. And we actually had another train ride. We were going from Vienna, Austria to Venice, Italy from there, and we decided we were going to upgrade on the next one, so we got the next level up and ended up getting the deluxe double room instead. And that was probably ended up being one of the larger double rooms that we've been in, would you say?
Yeah, it was super large. I had so much space that I didn't know what to do with it. It was almost too big.
Yeah.
So it was definitely worth the upgrade, and I think it was only about $50 more to get that room.
Yeah, so we learned a valuable lesson. If you have a claustrophobia like me, or you don't like tight spaces in certain instances, definitely stay away from booking the double room on the Nightjet, and you'll be perfectly fine. Like he said, there wasn't a huge price difference between the double and the deluxe double, and the comfort level was night and day between the two. So if you're trying to make that decision, guys, hopefully this video is helpful to you guys, or maybe you just found it humorous. But either way, if you have any questions, leave those for us down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.